Hello, everybody. It's Gerald Salenti with Judge Andrew Napolitano on this February 18th, 2026. Judge, thanks for being here. You know, you have an article coming out, and by the way, it's in your Trends Journal. And it's week after week, you keep going on about how we lose our rights and how they keep stealing them from us. And you have an article here, Liberty Without Strings. Quote, freedom has more often been lost in small steps by progressive incrementalism than it has been by catastrophic upheavals such as violence or war, said James Madison. And you go on to say what they did in a couple of circuit courts. They ruled that the problem of undocumented immigrants in the U.S. is so acute and vast, and that Fourth Amendment so burdensome and time-consuming that it should cut some constitutional corners.
So that's what the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which regulates Texas, Mississippi, and Louisiana, ruled when it authorized one ICE agent to authorize another ICE agent to arrest whoever he wants. No search warrant, no arrest warrant, no following the Fourth Amendment, no evidence presented to a judge, no judicial signature, no evidence of probable cause. You see all those people at that car wash, you want to arrest them? Wait a minute. Sign the paper, you can go arrest them. The Fifth Circuit said there's nothing wrong with that. No. It's the only court in the United States that I know of that has ruled that way. Now it gets worse. Now, without any judicial authorization, the ICE characters have been signing these orders, ordering American corporations, telecom and internet service providers to reveal the emails and telephonic communications of Americans who criticize ICE. Wait a minute. What business is it of the government who criticizes the government? The right to criticize the government is not only a natural human right, not only expressly defended in the protected in the First Amendment, it's absolutely vital to a democratic system of government. So ICE has served what they call an administrative warrant on these telecoms and internet service providers, saying, we need to know who these people are and what they've been saying to each other. And the internet service providers and telecoms have been complying. That's how bad things have gotten. And until someone is harmed by this and can challenge it in a federal court, it'll go on and on and on.
I mean, you look at these ICE guys in their military uniforms with all these weapons, and I mean, it's disgusting. I mean, look what this is America with their masks on and things.
The first guy there, the guy who's closest to that poor fellow in the door, the guy on the left, you can only see the back of him.
Yeah.
That is an Israeli Uzi submachine gun, meaning if he pulls the trigger and holds it pulled, all of the rounds will come out. That weapon is unlawful everywhere in the United States, including for the police.
But not ICE.
Not ICE. They can do whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want. The concept of rights is integral to humanity was articulated by Aristotle, refined by Augustine, codified by Aquinas, modernized by John Locke, embraced by the Continental Congress and Thomas Jefferson in the Declaration of Independence, and made part of the Constitution in the Ninth Amendment by Madison and the ratifiers.
You wouldn't know that today, because today ICE just runs rampant over people's rights. Look, it's been pretty basic since 1791. If somebody commits a federal crime and the feds want to arrest the person, they present evidence of the crime to a federal judge and they get either a search warrant or an arrest warrant. ICE is not asking for these search warrants and arrest warrants because they don't have any evidence of crime. It is not a crime to criticize ICE. It is not a crime to blast them in the streets. It is not a crime to take videos of them while they violate people's rights. And yet they are demanding this data, the social media data of people who they believe have been following them and criticizing them. This is as profound an authoritarian violation of the First Amendment as anything I've ever seen.
But again, look at them. Look at them. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
No.
I mean, this is America. Look at that poor woman at the door over there. Could you imagine?
The guy that you depicted on the front page of the Trends Journal about 2 weeks ago in his underwear.
Yeah.
Dragged out of his bed in his underwear. That guy's an American citizen. There he is in the upper left. That could have been you or me. That's an American citizen asleep in his underwear in his bed. And they dragged him out.
And look how they beat up women. I mean, my God. And then you go on to say, this is very important. You go on to talk about the Fourth Amendment. And again, you could get this article in your Trends Journal and go to Judging Freedom. Who do you have coming on, by the way, Judge?
Just finished somebody who said to me, please tell Celente he's a great man.
Oh.
Phil Giraldi.
Thank you. What a cat he is, man.
Yes, tomorrow I have Colonel McGregor, I have Colonel Wilkerson, I have Pepe Escobar, and I have Max Blumenthal. I have my heavy hitters tomorrow.
All right. So everybody, tomorrow, check it out, Judging Freedom. You said the Fourth Amendment requires that if the government wants to search or seize any person's houses, papers, quote, or effects, it needs to be investigating a crime, and it must have probable cause to believe that in those papers, houses, or effects, or on those persons is evidence of criminal behavior. Now, I'm telling you why I'm quoting this from your article. I know this guy, Scott Ritter. You know him too.
Yes.
What did they do to him?
Well, they stole his passport and they raided his house and stole all of his documents from all of his writings. And then they did not charge him with any crime because no crime had been committed.
Yep. But you go on to say, though, that it requires that if the government wants to search, so they didn't have any proof of anything, and they did it anyway. Is that correct?
Yes. Now, I have not seen the affidavit that the FBI presented to a federal magistrate to get him to sign the search warrant. There was a warrant. Scott saw the warrant. They showed him the warrant. They did not show him the affidavit. The affidavit is something that they must swear to under oath as being absolutely true. God knows what they told this magistrate. The magistrate doesn't know. He only knows what he sees in the affidavit. The ICE cannot get magistrates to sign search warrants because they don't have any evidence of any criminality whatsoever. That's why they use these, what they call administrative warrants. And I've seen them, Gerald. They don't specifically describe the place to be searched or the person or thing to be seized. They say, go to a car wash on, and they give the address, and pick up everybody that speaks with a Spanish accent. I mean, that's the equivalent of a general warrant, which basically said to the British soldiers, search wherever you want, seize whatever you find, and caused a revolution.
Yeah. It's a devolution in this country. Again, you've been writing about these things, talking about it. There's a tiny article on, page A7 at the bottom of the New York Times. The big story is, of course, still Nancy Guthrie. Again, terrible what happened, but that to me isn't. I don't want to hear for this for 3.5 weeks. 11 die in U.S. bombs boats in Pacific and Caribbean. Did you see this?
I did see it.
The United States force blew up 3 boats overnight, killing 11 men in strikes in both Eastern Pacific Ocean and Caribbean Sea. The military announced on Tuesday the strikes raised on death toll in the U.S. campaign against people it accuses of drug smuggling at sea to at least 144.
Actually, the government can't accuse them of drug smuggling. It doesn't even know who the hell they are. It doesn't even have the names of these people. It couldn't convict them or prosecute them if it wanted to. It's simply a reprehensible authoritarian act of murdering people to show what the president can get away with.
And no outrage.
No outrage. And I'm sure, I don't remember where that article was, but I'm sure it was buried in an inside story. It should be.
That's what I'm saying. It's bottom of page 7.
There you go.
Yeah.
No outrage. And
Nope.
In fact, I didn't see it mentioned anywhere. And I haven't discussed it at all. And I do this work all day with anybody but you.
Because they write a broad range of legal specialists on the use of lethal force have said the strikes are illegal, extrajudicial killings, because the military cannot deliberately target civilians who do not pose an imminent threat of violence, even if they are suspected of engaging in a criminal act.
That last part is 100% correct. It is a crime of murder for the military to do that. If these guys posed a threat of violence to the military could shoot them, but they pose no threat to anybody.
Well, they even talk about how they're killing people that jumped off the boats. They're killing them.
The reason they do that is because when they pick them up, they don't know who they are and they don't have any evidence against them. They can't prosecute them. So then they have to return them to the country from which they came. So instead of returning them, this is purely utilitarian, but it's utterly nihilistic. Instead of returning them, they kill them.
Well, and talking about bad things getting worse, as we go on the air, oil prices, they rose by more than 4%. And it's about, they're up about almost $3 a barrel today. And the news is that Vice President Vance said Tehran has failed to address core U.S. demands. Quote, in some ways it went well. They agreed to meet afterwards, the vice president told Fox News on Tuesday evening. But in other ways, it is very clear, you ready? That the president has set some red lines that the Iranians are not yet willing to actually acknowledge or work through. I mean, just the president drew some red lines. Hey, I'm the president. I can do anything I want, all right? Hey, America, republic, democracy, go screw yourself. I'm in charge. I'll draw any line I want, and that country better do what I want them to do, or I'll blow their brains out.
That's basically what he's saying. That's what America has become.
Yeah. And you ready? Trump reserves the right to use force if diplomacy does not succeed in stopping Iran's nuclear program, Vance said. Quote, we do have a very powerful military. The president has shown a willingness to use it. Hey, Judge, what was the last war America won?
Well, we won World War II because the Russians entered it.
Yeah. And this clown boy, another little, hey, boy, go fight. Anybody, again, I launched Occupy Peace, and you spoke here many times about it. So I'm a warrior for the Prince of Peace, not this war crap. Anybody that wants to go attack another country, all you politicians, go over there and lead the charge and shut your fat little mouths. Or what did Trump get? 5 draft deferments? I got a bone spur. But I'll draw a red line. Again, Sources told Axios, meanwhile, the U.S. military campaign against Iran would likely be massive. And it looks more like a full-fledged war than the raid that captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in January.
Gee, do you think he'll ask Congress for a declaration of war?
Yep. Trump has stationed the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier in the Middle East. USS Gerald Ford is en route to the region. Trump said Friday he deployed the second aircraft carrier in case negotiations fail. Quote, if we don't have a deal, we'll need it.
Wow. Well, it's a terrible state of affairs. The Supreme Court has given him immunity. He believes he can do, you just mimicked what he sounds like, and he honestly believes that. He can tell people what to do, and if they don't do what he tells them to do, he'll kill them. And the Republicans in Congress, the Democrats are no better, although they hate him and they'll oppose everything he does, animated by that hatred. But the Republicans in the Congress just go along with whatever he wants.
And when they don't go along with him, look how he comes out against Massey.
Right. He's trying to destroy Congressman Massey. I think it's going to backfire. Massey's enormously popular. They can waste all of Mrs. Adelson's money that they want. And it is Mrs. Adelson's money.
Yeah. Yeah, this is so sad. And it's only getting much. Look what just happened with the Olympics. Oh, they banned the Russian flags. But you could put out the Israeli flags. Genocide's okay.
Wow. I didn't know they banned the Russian flags.
They banned the Russian flags, but they allowed the genocide Israeli flags to go out.
Wow.
And by the way, talking about the hypocrisy, this is the cover of the Trends Journal this week. I don't know if you saw it.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
If his name was Epsteino, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, the mafia, hey. But now you got the Lutnick, the Witkoff, the Jerkoff, the Wexner, the Slexner, all, hey, it's all right. Shut the hell up, Black. Wait. Again, this is the book what Zizzy gave Honey Boy. Judge, there was a whole section in this book that we wrote that Zizzy wanted me to write. And it was, if Columbus was in the mafia.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. She said, all I ever heard in my lifetime was how organized crime controlled gambling and how destructive it was to society. And every time the politicians and the press talked about organized crime, they talk about Italians. Zizzy fumed as she opened and closed her hand, mimicking a flapping mouth. Quote, well, I'll tell you exactly where you could find the original criminals. You ready? In Washington and on Wall Street. They crack down on small operators while the big boys pull off deals worth billions. What a bunch of sanctimonious hypocrites. Her voice grew louder and her soft features in her face hardened. Since coming to America, Zizzy has seen prosecutors, the police, the movies, and the media portray Italians as mobsters, crooks, killers, and caffones, ill-mannered, loudmouth morons. As a result, many Italian immigrants of her generation refuse to allow their children to speak Italian, and they Americanize their names. Let me tell you something else, Zizzy said in a firm voice. I'm sick of this mafia crap. I suppose Columbus was in the mafia too. The Italians didn't corner the market on crime, and we didn't invent it. It was going on long before we came to this country. Who wiped out the Indians or forced blacks into slavery? What about Babyface Nelson, Bonnie and Clyde, John Dillinger, Jesse James, Dutch Schultz, Buzzy Siegel, and Maya Lansky? Fine Italian boys, aren't they all? Zizzy said.
Well, she was a pip.
Oh, yeah. And it's true. If Epstein was Epsteino, this would be big. Oh, hey, look what they're doing. But you can't come out against the Zionists, guys. No. Hide all that data. Don't put out what's going on.
Yeah.
This is a disgrace that they're hiding this information from we the people. As we say, when you look at these guys that we say in the Bronx, they couldn't get laid in the whorehouse with a fistful of $10 bills. Now make it $100 bills because $10 bills not worth anything anymore.
Aye. It's a terrible state of affairs. You know, we do this every Wednesday, and every Wednesday the world seems worse, my dear friend.
It does. But thank you for what you're doing and the people that you have on, going to Judging Freedom, because we're trying to make the world a better place. And it's up to we the people. It does not take a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority, keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men since Samuel Adams. And we're that irate, tireless minority. Thank you.
We are, my dear friend, happily so, and determined to prevail.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gerald.